Hi everyone, welcome to Girl Power. I'm Abbey Hoskins, and today I'm going to be interviewing Sarah Hampton. She's going to be sitting down with me and sharing her story of adversity and proof that no matter how you grow up and what you come from, you can always be anything you want to be. Thank you to our sponsors, June and Beyond, Tees, Kim Breeden with Shelter Insurance, and Cavell. Hey Sarah, how are you today?
I'm wonderful, Abby. Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks for joining us. Let's just jump right into it.
Absolutely. Let's go.
So for people meeting you right now, who are you and what does your life look like right now?
I am Sarah Hampton. My life right now, it looks like a Lebanon Now studio, to be perfectly honest. I feel like I'm either in an office working, or I'm in the studio working, or I'm outside talking to people and working. But it's fun and never a dull moment.
Yeah, the perks of being an entrepreneur and co-business owner.
Yeah, it's really exciting. It's definitely difficult and challenging at times. It's not like I just get to go into work and fiddle around my day and then clock out and go home. I have to put in the work and I have to put in the effort, and that's been an adjustment in life.
Yeah, your brain never shuts off, and you've really kind of become the face of Lebanon Now, honestly.
Yeah, a little bit, which is kind of funny because I'm just a quirky human being.
Right. It's very cool, though.
Thank you. I'm also a wife and a mom. Mm-hmm. I have 2 kids, a middle schooler and a high schooler.
Fun ages, I've heard.
So yeah, never a dull moment there either. But they're smart and they're fun and they have big hearts. So I feel pretty lucky as a mom, and I feel lucky as a wife. Mm-hmm. I have a very quirky, incredibly intelligent, funny husband, and you just never know what's going to happen around us.
Right. You wear so many different hats, and you've got a lot of different passions too. I know earlier you told me you love painting. I didn't know that about you.
Correct. I am a serial hobbyist.
Me too.
So I'm sure I have a little bit of ADHD in there, but I taught myself how to paint years ago. I am lucky enough that I've sold over half the paintings that I have painted.
That's awesome.
So I worked in a doctor's office for years and used to hang them up, and patients would come in and schedule their appointments and sometimes come back and buy them, or get my email and come back and buy them for somebody else. So I really found a passion in artwork for sure.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about how you were raised. What was your childhood like for you growing up?
It was different. I was born in California, Southern California. My parents divorced when I was 2. And we moved to Missouri when I was about 5, I believe. My mother worked at the medical prison in Springfield. So she was very busy and hardworking, and I have a sister that's 10 years older than me, so she was working really hard to support 2 daughters by herself. Mm-hmm.
That can put a lot of strain on children, and that's hard too, knowing, your mom's doing everything she can.
Yeah.
But
yeah. I want to say that we grew up in a very loving household, but I don't know that we were very affectionate. Mm-hmm. I knew that my mom and my sister, we were strong girl power, really. We're a strong group of girls. And we take care of each other, but we weren't ever very affectionate.
Right.
My mom was going through some issues when I was in high school, some medical issues right around the same time that I was becoming a naughty adolescent teenager. And that summer she sent me to California to live with my dad, which completely changed the way I grew up. Mm-hmm. At the age of 16, I was drinking and doing drugs with my dad. Hardly going to school, flunking out of school when I was there.
Right.
I'm sure I smelled like Cheech and Chong going down the hallways when I was in school.
You didn't know any better because that's what was modeled to you.
I was like, I've got the coolest dad ever. Until his bipolar kicks in and he quits his job and I no longer have a meal to have for dinner or shampoo to wash my hair. And I don't even have a phone that works to go call my mom. So that lasted a little less than 2 years. And then I went and moved back in with my mother again, dropped out of high school, decided to move in with my boyfriend when I was 17. And that started the relationship that turned into a 15-year marriage. So my childhood...
Were you in Springfield at this time? So your mom was living in Springfield?
Ozark,
okay.
Yep. So I grew up in Ozark and went to school in Ozark. Met my ex-husband in Ozark. And then when I was 17 and we decided we were going to be like really cool kids and move out, we moved to Springfield.
Gotcha. Okay.
That didn't last very long. I was a 17-year-old that didn't know how to take care of myself. I didn't know how to pay bills. I didn't even know how to get around Springfield. I was lost. So after about 9 months of sitting around, barely keeping a job and getting high, we eventually got kicked out of my first rental and had to kind of figure out how to start being an adult, which I failed miserably at for a while.
Right. Well, you were just going by what was modeled to you. You had no idea.
Correct. And I think my mom was always in survival mode. So I don't think I ever realized there was anything past that.
Right. You can actually thrive and enjoy life.
Yeah. I had no goals. I had no dreams. I didn't even think that there was anything beyond the next day.
Right. So you said you were married for 15 years. What did that look like in those years look like for you?
I got married right after I turned 21. We were happy. We liked to party a lot. We, grew up going down to Busick State Park and drinking with your friends around a bonfire. Like we grew up going to Budweiser Corner in Ozark and smoking reefer with the 16 and 17-year-olds. The marriage was rocky. I never saw a healthy relationship, and I don't think my ex-husband did either. So we didn't really know how to have one. So I think we tried our best, and we succeeded for a while. I mean, it was really fun. We were in our 20s. I went to a lot of concerts. I learned how to keep a job and how to pay bills. And then he was 7 years older than me, so he was ready to have kids, and I was terrified. But we bought our first house, and I was like, all right, let's do it. Time to be a grown-up. We can do this. So, and that changed everything.
That's when you're like, oh, okay, this is what life's about. I really got to start getting it together now.
Yeah. Like if I don't pay my bills, I have a kid that loses their home. And I can't sit around and smoke pot all day long because I have people that I have to be responsible for, and I have to teach them how to be a good person, which I want them to see in me.
You've done a great job of it.
Thank you. Yeah.
So at what point did you realize the relationship was just not suiting you anymore and you maybe needed to transition and move on?
Strangely enough, I think I always knew it, right?
Your gut never lies to you.
No, I always had a backup plan. I always knew that something at some point was going to fall apart. I didn't, of course, when I was 21 and got married, I thought, it was forever.
Right.
But as I started growing older, I started wanting to be more responsible. I started wanting to be involved with my family, maybe even involved in the community. Like I was really excited when I moved to Stratford and it was a small community. I thought we're going to go out and we're going to pick up trash out of all the ditches and we're going to go around and we're going to join all these little clubs. Like I wanted to be part of something bigger than just myself. And he had no goals for that. Like he did not want to do anything. He had no desire to travel, to see the world, to experience things, to have new hobbies. And I like being excited by life.
That's really brave of you to look at that relationship and see that you've outgrown this person. You want so much more than they want in life, and that they can offer you, and say, okay, it's time.
Yeah. And I don't think either of us knew ever how to communicate that, because I communicated my needs, but I don't think he understood what I was communicating, and vice versa. So we both felt like we weren't getting what we needed out of the relationship. And when I decided to end that, it was my choice. It was a hard choice. I knew that I was responsible for ripping our family apart, so to speak.
Right.
But I also know that having a happy parent or two happy parents is much better than having two unhappy parents in a forced situation.
Absolutely. It's important to model to your kids what a healthy relationship looks like. That way they don't go into the same thing that you did, and they experience that as well.
Absolutely.
So that's big. So the transition years, you've gotten divorced now. What did those years look like for you?
They were a little wild, to be honest with you. So I had shared custody with my ex-husband. So half of the week, the kids went to their dad's house. And I had never in my entire life been by myself. I went from mom's house to dad's house to mom's house to living with a man. And now here I was, 36. Is a month before COVID hit. So I was really excited. I got my own duplex, and I was terrified because I had never been single. I had never gone on a date.
Right.
Right. And I'm like, okay, here it is. I'm going to go on my first date. And then COVID hits and everybody's in lockdown. And it was so devastating.
Super alone. You get to be super alone
I was
now.
really lonely. But gosh, it was good. It was so good for me to find myself, to be able to put on music and make myself whatever I wanted to cook for dinner and watch whatever I wanted on TV, and to drag my dining room table into the living room and paint. And my house looked like an art museum and a garden. It was just covered in art and plants. And I could finally feel and hear my inner self. And that's what made me feel like a confident, happy woman. I didn't feel like I needed to dye my hair or wear makeup or any of it, because I just felt good being myself.
Yeah, and you got to do what you love. And I bet your kids noticed the difference in you too.
I think they definitely did. So
moving on now, you found yourself, your sense of purpose, your happiness. What led you to meeting Ryan? How did that go down?
A bad date.
With him?
No. So like I said, I was just trying to get out and meet people. I wasn't very good at it. I met a gentleman from Lebanon and went on a date with him, and we dated just a few weeks. But I came over to his house one time and got hung up in the kitchen talking to his roommate, and his roommate happened to be Ryan.
Oh my gosh.
And he was just so funny and so charming. And I remember thinking, I really like this guy. And so I friend requested Ryan on Facebook.
As one does.
Right. Yep. It had been a couple months later, and I had a little bit of liquid courage and seen on Facebook that Ryan had just moved into a new place. And so I messaged him. I slid in his DMs, as he says. And I was like, it's really sad. I'm not going to see you around much anymore. Like, how are you? And he was like, you dated my friend. We ain't doing this.
Yeah, that's taboo.
I had never really been single, but for a couple years. So I never did the taboo thing. I didn't realize
that was not a thing that you did.
I know. Oops. But I was persistent and cute. So he gave in after he talked to his buddy and made sure that it was all clear and
right.
And I tricked him into falling in love with me.
Did a good job.
He was like, I am never getting married. And 6 months later, we were engaged.
Oh my gosh, that's incredible.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you guys are such a power couple now. So fast forward, you said you got married. Ryan started Lebanon Now.
Yeah.
What made you take that jump to actually jump in with him? Because you said you'd worked at Lake Regional for 10 years.
I worked at Cox for almost 10 years. And then when I moved to Lebanon, I started working at Lake Regional for about two and a half years.
Gotcha.
I made the jump. So Ryan started in a small office down the street, and I saw him go. He was crazy. Like, the man never sleeps. I don't know how he does it. And then we moved to Ozark Fiber building upstairs, and we were up here putting this together day in, day out, all with his vision on what he wanted. Work was getting bigger, more people were coming in, more sponsors, more commercials, more podcasts, more everything. And I was like, let me help you. I'm just sitting over here at the doctor's office answering 120 phone calls a day. Let me help you. I can do this. Even though I had no idea what I was doing.
Right.
I just thought, like, I can schedule your appointments and do your paperwork. And so in August of last year, I decided to go part-time at Lake Regional and come up here and start helping. And Ryan started training me and teaching me, which has been a challenge. I'm not the easiest to teach technology to.
You and me both.
I'm definitely a 90s child for
Right.
sure. And then in November, I officially went full-time. I decided to take that full leap because this is fulfilling.
It is. You get
So-
to bring people together and empower women.
Yeah.
What's been your favorite thing so far?
I like telling somebody's story. And I like editing. I've found that I really like editing because it's part of the storytelling. So to be able to take a hand in telling Melinda's story,
Right.
how inspiring she is for us, for our kids, for anybody. The elderly gentleman that almost drowned at Bennett Springs, being able to bring the two of those men together and record that interview, it made my heart feel happy. I went home and felt like I had done something good today. And then the fundraising, taking part in the
Day of Giving.
Day of Giving. What an amazing experience, bigger than myself, that I get to take part in.
Right.
Right? And I love people. So to be able to come in contact with all these like-minded people is just that much more inspiring to me.
Yes, and it is so fulfilling. So looking back as a kid and a teenager, did you ever imagine this kind of life for you?
Oh God, no. No. Never in a million years. I assumed I would be a receptionist at the prison or at the doctor's office or something like I had always done. I never felt like a career was something that I cared about. It didn't make me who I was. I just did the job to make the money to take care of the really important stuff, which was home. But this is the first time I have found a job path or a career path that is also really important stuff. So I get to do important stuff during the day, and then I also get to go and do important stuff at home at night.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. Thank you.
So you feel like the turning point in your life was when you had kids. You realized you wanted to wake up and be better for them, right?
Yes, absolutely. I grew up with a single mom, so I wanted to do bigger and better, right? Like we always want to do better. I wanted to raise my daughter to be confident and strong and determined and stubborn, and I have done a very good job at that. I wanted with my son for him to be around a man that taught him those things as well. And I didn't feel fulfilled in that area. And because of that, I was not doing my best at being the mom and role model I should have been. And I feel like Ryan has really stepped up into that stepdad role and has taught my children so much. They love him.
I think it's so incredible and just so important that you listen to that small voice in your head and you did the big scary things, took the jump to give them the life that they deserve to. And now look at you and your fulfilling job. You're making a difference in this community and it's incredible. And your kids are incredible. I can tell by what you share.
Yeah.
So I think that is such a big deal and huge. And we're so lucky to have you in this community.
Thank you so much. I love this community.
Yes. So I'm going to end with one more question for you. If you could give one piece of advice to someone younger, what would you give them? Or what would you say to them?
The same advice I have always given my daughter, which I'm not very good at taking myself, and my husband would agree with that. And it kind of ties back to also what Melinda said at hers. Just be brave and do it anyway. Sometimes something is really scary and you think that you can't do it, or you're afraid to fail, or you don't have a clue what you're doing in the first place. And I always just told my daughter, I remember her getting ready to do the monkey bars when she was like 3. And I said, just count to 3 and be super brave. And when you hit 3, just go, just do it. Because even if you're unhappy with the outcome, you're usually really happy that you did it anyway.
Right.
And you'll try again and you'll try again. And we all know that practice makes perfect. So
Yeah, exactly.
Yep. So count to 3, be brave, and just do it.
Yeah. You don't want to look back on the end of your life and be like, man, I wish I would have tried that. You want to look back and say, I tried that. I failed.
Yeah.
But at least I tried.
Yeah.
Look how I got better after that.
Right?
So
or tell my kids, I tried that and I failed miserably, but then I tried this and it worked. You know, like I can't speak from experience if I haven't experienced it.
Right. Everything is figure outable.
I agree with that completely.
Yes. So on that note, thank you, Sarah, for joining us today and sharing your story. I know that it'll touch some people in the community, and I know they'll take the time to watch. And this has been another segment of Girl Power.
With Abbey Hoskins and Sarah Hampton.
Yes.
This episode of Girl Power is brought to you by Covell Flowers, Espresso, Bakery, and Gifts, Kim Breeden and the crew at Shelter Insurance, June and Beyond Women's Boutique, and Tees Custom Apparel. Thank you for being a proud sponsor of Girl Power.